I think I'm live. Yep, it says I'm live. Let me look here and see if I can find the chat. How do I sound, guys? If there's anybody in there. Are y'all in there? Do I sound okay? Morning, Margot. Do I sound okay? Do I sound better than I did yesterday? Jack says, you don't sound like Mrs. Roboto anymore. Well, that's a good thing. Yay! I'm so glad. I think it's my computer. I know that my internet was not working correctly last night, and that was part of the problem. But I reset that, and it seemed to work okay. But I mean, I already went through 4 times, and I thought, try it again another day. I think, and I don't know. I think Mother's Mustache might be like in IT or something, or did IT for a while. But and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm gonna do a reset on my computer. Not a restore, but just a reset. And that may be, the issue that's going on with my. I used to not have to wear headphones or earbuds or whatever they're called. I used to not have to do that. I could just, talk regular, not have anything plugged in, and my mic was fine. But I can't fix that now. So, and that's happened before. So I'm gonna have to maybe see if I can do like a reset on it and um, see if that'll fix it, and then maybe look into getting another computer. Um, I think I'm gonna go with the desktop this next time. Um, I don't know. I like the laptop because it's portable and it's mobile, and you can move it from room to room. But they seem to have a lot more issues than just the regular. And I always buy cheap too. I don't buy. This is a HP. Um, my other one, it would overheat, and so and then it would do all this weird stuff on it, and I would have to. Um, what did I have to do? I had to wrap it in a blanket so it would shut off, I guess. And then I could restart it, and then it was crazy. And then and then I'd be fine. So I don't know. And I don't know nothing about those computers. Much better, Val. Did you change anything on the computer? I did not. The only thing I did, and this is one thing that I always have to, I always have to do when I had my computer running and I left it running when I went and had dinner last night. And so when I came back, I should have restarted it and I didn't. Um, and if I don't restart my computer, it always does that. And then I don't know if it was just, well, we're going to teach you a lesson because we ain't gonna, we're not giving, we're not giving in this morning. But I hope everybody's having a great day. It's Monday. I had 10 packages to ship out, which was good. Morning, Sherry. So I was happy about that. I personally, I'm in a slump and I cannot, for some reason, I can't, I can't list. Yeah, Walmart has those cheap refurb desktops online. Yeah. I might have to look on something, look at something like that and see if I can find, a cheap one. And I mean, I don't want super cheap, but I think I paid $200 on Black Friday for this. But it doesn't have a disk drive or anything like that. It's just basically a notebook. Um, so I don't know. Reset your motor router. It's what your internet runs to from the wall. It's usually a tiny, tiny hole that you can use a paper clip to push in, then count to 5, then it'll reboot. Takes under 5 minutes. Okay, I'll do that after the show. See if there's, I had, Jason had posted that. I can't remember how fast is your internet type of thing. And of course, I threw the paper away. But and I think Nikki is used to work in IT too, and she was saying, so I got my download was 24.47 MP whatever miles per, no, it's not miles per hour, duh. um and the upload was 4.95, whatever the value is at the end, mpbs, I think, or something like that. There we go. I had it. I just got the letters mixed up. Megabytes per second. There you go. Hello. How are you, socially awkward seller? I'm so glad you made it in. Oh, it's slow? Well, okay. Well, I might have to go in and take a look at that and see if there's something. I know it's been probably about 3 months, maybe. It was really bad, and I had them uh, change out the modem. And they said the modem that they gave me, or the modem that I had, was out of date. It was like obsolete. And so then I went with they gave me I think it was like the middle of the road. It wasn't the highest one that they used, but um, it was like the middle one. So I started using that, and it seemed to help whatever problem there was. But I'll try that mother's mustache. I'll try and do like a reboot on that. Good morning, Linda's Rocky Mountain Finds. Good morning, Megan. Oh, I know. I hope you do okay today. I'm gimping around and hurting. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of doing the same thing. I um, had some limbs that fell down Friday night. So, okay, let me tell you about this. Story time. Um, so Friday night we had like tornado winds of 80 miles per hour. Um, I was scared to death. I was really, that's the first time being in Kansas. That's the first time that has ever been that bad. And so we were in a tornado warning, and, it said, seek shelter, and basically, go go to your bathroom or whatever you got to do. So I don't have a basement, which is crazy. Hands out, popcorn. Um, I don't have a basement, so the only place that I can really go, I could go to my bathroom, but there's not it's on the outer wall. So basically I had to go I went into the closet, and I know that the closet is like my room that I have to go, hide out in. I've never had to do that before. But I had to do it the other night. It was kind of scary. So I was sitting there and I felt so dumb because I tell you, Mike would have been, he would have been like, "What are you doing?" But I wasn't going to, and then I was like, "Yeah, you just just to be on the safe side, go get in your closet." Yeah, I'm out
And
of the
so
closet
then
now.
after it was done, you came out of the closet.
I did. I came out of the closet. Here I am, guys. Oh my gosh, just do a couple of shots of tequila and right. You know what? I probably would have if I had some tequila. I would have drank the whole bottle, but um, so that was interesting. There was trees down. It was crazy. What about under the stairs? I ain't got no stairs. I have what like one step, and I wouldn't fit down there, so it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work out for me. Good morning, Sally.
Morning.
How you doing this morning?
Right.
How you doing? Sorry.
Just been trying to get stuff done this morning and packaged up.
Yeah, I've been up since 4.
Well, you've been up since longer than I have because I went to bed at 3 and then I woke back up at 5:30.
Oh,
But I knew I wanted to do some stuff this morning, so
yeah.
I wanted to get up and early and do that. I had
But
to.
I wanted, oh, sorry,
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
cutting you off. So I wanted to just apologize for, um, not doing the show last night. Just wasn't working out. And,
Anything you could do about it.
just the way it is. And I'll try it again. Um, if you're subscribed to me, you should get a notification. You might get a notification.
Hell yeah, I could use some tequila right now.
Mother's mustache. I am so scared of tornadoes. Hurricanes, are coming. We used to party, have a hurricane party. Tornadoes pop up out of nowhere with no warning. It's true. It's so true. I have never, I would never been to a hurricane party, but I would say, if I was gonna go, if I was gonna die, that'd probably be the best way to go. Just having a good old time. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. But yeah, just apologize for that, and maybe it will give me a little more time to think of, um, what how I want to do it, or what I want to do. Um, but like I was telling Sally last night, it was kind of funny, and I was, gonna try and do this story time, another story time. Um, last night when I was trying to do the show. Um, so I worked on the yard, got done with the yard and everything, and then my mother-in-law says, "Hey, do you want to go to dinner for Father's Day?" And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And I said, "Well, what time you guys going?" And she said 5:30. So I'm getting ready, and of course I'm running late. And our show was going to be on time management. Okay. So, and as I'm getting ready, I'm thinking, "Oh crap. I have I have to go to dinner, which is I have to drive about 45 minutes away, and then I need to be back because I have the show scheduled." So I'm like, "Okay, I can do this. I could do it." So, but I just thought it was funny that that was the topic, and
And you
I
were.
could have potentially been late for my own show on
Mhm.
time management.
Mhm.
That would have
Yep.
been my luck. Oh, let's see here. What we got? We got the mouse chewing on the line this morning. Sally, you want to check your volume a little bit and see if maybe
Oh, I could turn it down. Yeah.
if that's what's going on? I don't know.
Can you hear it still? Can you
Try
hear
mute.
me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay, that's a good
Yeah.
sign. Try muting yourself real quick. There you go. Now try coming back in. No.
I can't. I
Dang
can't
it.
hear it.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Huh.
Hamster. Yeah.
Not that I know of. He's not my pet. If he's in my house, he's trespassing.
He's a rodent. Get your gun. Beth said it's probably her computer fan.
Maybe. I don't know.
Do y'all hear it on your end, on the audience's end? I don't
I got a nervous tick.
know. Okay. Good morning, Mario. We need to do some shout outs. Shout outs. So we got
Socially
Steven.
awkward sellers. Socially awkward seller says yes. Sounds like a sewing machine.
I'm
I have
sorry.
no
It's
clue.
it's gone. It's gone now.
Hmm.
So there's nothing. I don't hear it now. So hopefully it's okay. Stephen Scroggins, Ginger Overstreet, Miss Margot from Florida's Hidden Treasures, Mother's Mustache, Mr. Jack Smack, Frankie's Finds, the other Jason, Miss Sherry Honeybee, Beth C, Socially Awkward Seller in the house, Mr. Tim from Tempe, Little Rocky Mountain Finds, Linda's Rocky Mountain Finds. Sorry about that. I chopped that up completely. Megan Carl. Let's see. Miss Jim. Tara. I'm glad you're all here. Turtle Trader. What
We have a
what?
we have a new subscriber, first time live. Shanta Dillingham Dills.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome.
Did you say
Angela
Angela
Barney.
Barney?
Uh-huh.
Pitch poke Yobia Coke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's being held hostage and is using Morse code to ask us. Can y'all not hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad.
Oh,
I'm
they're asking if we're using Morse code
yeah. I don't
to
know.
asking us to rescue her. I think they're talking about the mice and the wires.
No worries, socially awkward seller. Hope you have a great day out there and find some good stuff and we'll see you later. Thanks for coming on. Oh, your ticking sound. Gotcha.
Sounds like the aliens from Mel Gibson's movie Signs.
That is no lie. That is so true.
Yeah, it does. It does sound like that.
Like,
That is kind of scary.
I probably look like a complete fool doing that, but I don't care.
It was kind of funny.
I couldn't imagine talking like that, but I guess I don't know.
Don't throw water to make your computer to make it stop though.
No, I don't think we'll do that. Good morning, Sherry, the cheerful nest. I just hope everybody's having a great day. I woke up in a pretty good mood.
I did too.
Like I said, I woke up at 4 o'clock, and you know I was good and got all my shipping done, which I should have done last night, but I didn't. Um, but yeah, everything was good. Had to cancel an order,
Yeah.
which I did not want to do. It was on a shirt, and when I had when I listed it, I didn't realize that there was like an ink mark on it.
Oh.
And so when when I got it out and started putting, uh, getting it ready and everything, I seen it. Um, and so I was like, yeah, I tried to get it out because it looked like ink, but it looked like it had already been washed a couple times. And
Mm.
so it wasn't budging. So,
Well, it happens. So how did you handle that?
well, I messaged the buyer and told her, that I found this mark on it and that I was going to go ahead and cancel the order and refund her. And, I haven't gotten a response on that. I don't know if she will respond, but I just went ahead and canceled it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yes, that's going to give me a ding, but um, you know, sometimes you just got to do that.
You couldn't do
I
it
would,
in a way to where you could not get a ding out of that?
um,
Because you could have said,
I I could have. I
you
could
could
have. But
you could have said, um, would you like for me to cancel the order, or would you like another item in my store at the same price? Or you
yeah,
could have, maybe give them some options, and then, once they said, okay, go ahead and cancel the order, then you can say that the buyer requested that they cancel the order,
yeah.
because you're not lying.
Well, it's
What was
true.
the item?
I actually did um put that as the buyer, just said buyer requested it. So I don't know if I'll get a ding for it or not, but
I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
we'll see. If she still wants it, then ask her to
It's
cancel.
just for a shirt, Dusty.
Yeah, it was just a blouse, woman's blouse. So I guess saying blouse would refer to a woman anyway. You don't necessarily say.
I quit wearing blouses.
How are you?
I'm awake.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
When you get back to work,
Oh yeah.
Back to the grind.
Yep. I was gonna say something funny and I don't remember what it was. I got nothing.
Well, you got nothing?
Yeah, I tried to watch your show, so I guess you had problems or whatever, right?
I had issues. My computer was constipated.
It was constant. That's awesome.
Sorry. Oh,
Let's see what I have to ship.
yeah. It says Chanta says that I don't know if that's your first name or not, and correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but if they don't, let's see, I guess they have to approve it if they don't. And if they don't approve it, then you do get a ding. Okay. That's all right. But that's okay. You know, it was my fault because I didn't catch it. And so, you know.
A lot of times they'll go through automatically, though. You know, you'll pick that reason of buyer request cancellation. And I don't know what makes the difference. I used to think it was like if they had messaged you at all, then the system sensed that you know, oh, they messaged him, so they must have requested to cancel it. But that theory doesn't seem to work. Sometimes they just go through automatically for some reason.
Yeah.
Do you really have eye boogies?
I just hope for the best and
Took a picture of my eyes. Now they were just no, I was rubbing them though.
Morning, Jason.
I think it's just seeing what your metrics. You know, I sold a phone handset the day before we were supposed to leave on vacation for like $7.99 free shipping. It was the one I had left. I had like 50 of them, and sometimes I'd sell 4 or 5 at a time. I mean, it was a good seller, decent seller. But it was just the handset to all these old like office conference phones, and they'd ship first class.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down apparently the last one, like quantity one. And I kept thinking, those are at the warehouse, you know, and I'd have to find them in there, remember where those handsets are. It was $7.99, and it was the day before we were supposed to go on vacation. I got to drive 17, 18 miles out that way, 17, 20 miles or whatever back this way. Package that one for $7.99 that after shipping, after everything else, I'm going to make like $3. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm canceling it. And I just, you know, that's crappy, and I don't normally do that, but my metrics can take it. And I was like, screw it, you know.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just have to.
Shantae is her name.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. All right. I'll get it right. Shantae. I like that. That's cute.
Now you should pronounce her last name wrong.
Well, I'm a ham. I'm also a ham, so I understand. I'm completely in that realm. So, of course, I'm a Cunningham, not a Dillingham. Let's see. TJ Towns, the Saint, sold a lightweight pair of shoes for $50, worth $150. Cost me $76 to ship to Vegas. It stinks to be Canadian on eBay. I feel you.
Yeah, that's
I'm
rough.
sorry.
Why does it stink to be Canadian? Other than you're Canadian. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
They lost.
Just kidding.
She lost money on a sale.
Sold a lightweight pair of shoes for $50 worth of $150 cost me. Wow, ouch.
Yeah, you'll learn that after a while. After doing it for a while, you'll learn to make sure that you have that money before you should. I think it has to be a little bit different in Canada. All their shipping rules and everything. I think that everything's probably not, you know, lined up and you know, we know what rates we shut up, Dusty. We know what rates we have to, you know, have to pay for certain items. If, you know, if it's under 16 ounces or whatever, we know that, you know, we're not going to pay more than, you know, $6 to ship it or whatever.
54, 7.5 cents.
You know what I mean?
No, not really.
You don't know what I mean? Okay, let me explain it this way. Never mind. I got an echo. Do I have an echo?
No.
Yeah.
Do I have an echo?
Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So, anyways.
So
Dusty.
anyway,
I think you have an echo.
Dusty, what is your middle name?
Dusty.
Paul.
No.
Dustin.
Dustin. It's Dustin.
Dustin.
Oh, I have a new nickname for you.
Ooh.
oh,
Dusty Crop Hopper.
Crop
Crop Hopper.
hopper.
Yeah. He's kind of like he's off of the Cars movies, but it's about planes. And it's
Wait a minute. Excuse my man boobs in your face. Like that?
yes, that's Dusty Crop Hopper.
I didn't know he had a last name. My mom sent this to me. I love my mom. One day I get this in the mail and she's like, I saw that and I just thought of you. Oh, Mom, please don't tell me you're turning into that little old lady that mails out comic strips and all that like my grandma used to do. I was like, oh,
that's funny.
it's a big pencil eraser with my name on it. I hung it on the wall.
you have like a closet full of that stuff now. Now that you're in your 40s.
Yeah. My grandmother used to mail out these little things, and you feel like, oh, I need to hang on to that, and end up with a closet full of really weird little old lady things.
But she sent it just to you, so.
What is the man? There's some chatty people this morning. You got 35 people.
I know. Look at that. I like that.
I saw the look on your face. I don't know who he's talking to.
I don't know. Let's see.
I called the most brilliant computer guy I know, worked on computers since they were invented by IBM. He said in many areas Sunday night is going to give people problems due to Netflix streaming. That's it's all about, like, if you have cable stuff, it's all about I think it probably works the same way with like DSL, but it's it's all about how busy your particular node is. Like if you live in an area where you're all on the same node on the pole or whatever, and everybody's streaming a lot of stuff, that makes a lot of difference.
All 10 of those people in your town were on at the same time.
Yeah, probably so.
All 10 that aren't still on dial-up.
None of them were streaming porn, so it really hogged everything up.
What question is what's his face talking about?
I don't know. King Rat said, Val, don't let him avoid. Oh, the middle name.
Okay, let's figure this out.
I'd say Lee.
My middle name's Lee.
Dustin Lee?
Yeah.
No.
No, but that was my grandfather's. No. That's my grandma.
I think I've heard it.
That was my Nana's middle name.
I think I've heard it.
It was Michael Anthony Hall, and then he changed it.
James?
James. No.
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 Ru-
King Rat says Rufus.
That's it. Ding, ding, ding. We got a winner.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's not Paul.
No.
Okay.
Paul Dustin.
No.
They didn't even go together.
Like
People that give their kids names.
Dustin
that
Paul.
go together. Huh?
Dustin Paul.
Dustin's my middle name.
Oh, Dustin's your middle
is it?
name.
Yeah, you said it before.
Oh.
No one was paying
Oh, I
attention.
didn't hear you say
So
that.
I was a little kid, and one day my mom goes I would dress up like a cowboy with my little cap guns. I had this shirt that said "Wanted, Dead or Alive." I wish I could find the picture. Wanted, Dead or Alive, Billy the Kid, and I had my little Levi's jeans and my boots. And my two cap guns on either side, my cowboy hat, and I think I had a kerchief thing tied around my neck. It was like 1978 or whatever. And I walk in and my mom's like, says something, and I said, "Call me Dusty. I'm a cowboy." And that stuck for like 40-something years.
Oh, wow.
That's where Dusty
I'm thinking
came
of like Willy Wonka. What was it? TV Mike? With the cap. And so he wanted to be a TV personality, and there you go.
Oh my
Swiffer.
gosh.
My mother-in-law sends me Facebook messages. News that appears to be so random is so annoying. I started replying with random posts showing people petting cats, etc. Okay, Jason, my father-in-law does that, but this is why we don't have any friends or family on Facebook. It's just solely for resale. Well, I mean, y'all are our friends. I don't feel like I always need to reiterate that. No people that we knew prior to the reselling community. I hate that term. It's another pet peeve. But that's why we don't have him, because my father-in-law does that. So one day, I've had the same email for, I don't know, years. It is spam free because I don't give the crap out. I don't sign up for whatever. I have a junk one that I check every 10 years that to do if I sign up for something and I think they're going to harvest my email address or whatever. I've kept it totally spam free. Nope, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, my father-in-law was like, "I need your email address." And I said, "Well, I don't have one." "What do you mean you don't have one?" I said, "I have one for work. I don't use it for sending funny little things back and forth." Oh my God. So somehow he gets it. And every day I get these like, watch out because they're going to put razor blades under gas pump handles. Protect yourself when you're doing certain things, driving in the car, or, the dangers of airbags, just all, what they really don't tell you about how dangerous airbags are. I mean, all these just crazy, stupid things that he forwarded. Well, the problem is he's a serial forwarder. And when he does, he doesn't know how to use, because he still uses an AOL.com email address, if that tells you anything. Oh, he was still dialing in up until like a couple of years ago. So when he forwards, he doesn't use blind carbon copy. He sends it all to everybody. And then he's very vocal on his political stuff, very anti-Clinton, pro-Trump, whatever. I'm not going to comment on political stuff. I'm kind of a neutral in everything. But I just have learned a long time ago, don't talk religion or don't talk politics with certain people, because you're going to get nowhere. You're just going to start fights and alienate people. And so he'd forward these just crazy things. So for a long time, every time he would do it, I would find whatever he was talking about, and I'd look it up on Snopes.com, and I would hit reply all and send him a link just to make him look stupid. And then finally, I just gave up on that. And the problem was then some of his friends would end up getting hacked. And when they got hacked, then my email address got harvested. So I finally just sent him, I set up a filter in Gmail where he goes straight to my spam. Well, the problem is he'll come up to visit, or like when we're on vacation, and he'll go, "Did you see what I sent you last week?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm." And he'll go, "What was it?" And I'm like, "Shit." And so I got to go back and look through my spam folder. And then he'll send stuff that's halfway like really important. Like he's coming into town. He's like, "Hey, I sent some, tax documents that I need to get you to sign or get printed, and I need to borrow your printer." And he'll send like, these things with attachments. And so one day I'm gone and Tristan's like, "Hey, Dad just forwarded me something from his phone in the living room." And she said, I always leave my computer open. That's why it looks like I'm always on Facebook, because my computer is always open. And so she goes, "I went into your email," which is not a big deal. We do that with each other. That's how our marriage works. But, and she goes, "It didn't pop up. He sent it like 10 minutes ago." And I'm like, "Did you click on the folder that said spam?" And she had me on the speakerphone with her dad. And she's like, "Why are my dad's even?" I'm like, "Why is it?" "Oh, okay." He's like, "Why am I going to spam?" I was like, "Oh, it must be because of the attachment." Yeah.
That was a good save.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got 2 in here right now. Hold on. I've got 3 that I haven't read. I've got one called, oh, here we go. It's a joke. All right. "This ought to make you smile. 2 Tennessee rednecks are out hunting, and as they are walking," I haven't screened this, so I don't know how bad this can be. 2 Tennessee rednecks are out hunting. As they are walking along, they came upon a huge hole in the ground. They approach it and are amazed at the size of it. The first hunter says, "Wow, that's some hole. I can't even see the bottom. I wonder how deep it is." The second hunter says, I don't know. Let me throw something down there. Then we'll listen and see how long it takes to hit the bottom. The first hunter says, hey, there's an old automobile transmission over there. Give me a hand. We'll throw it in and see. So they pick it up and carry it over and count 1, 2, 3, and heave it in the hole. They're standing there listening, looking over the edge when they hear a rustling behind them. As they turn around, they see a goat come crashing through the underbrush, run up to the hole, and without hesitation, jump in head first. While they are standing there staring at each other in amazement, peering into the hole, trying to figure out what that was all about, an old farmer saunters up and says, say there, says the farmer. You fellers didn't happen to see my goat around here anywhere, did you? The first hunter says, funny you should ask, but we were just standing here a minute ago, and a goat came running out of the bushes doing about 100 miles an hour and jumped head first here into this here hole. The old farmer said, now that's impossible. I had him chained to a transmission. I mean, like, this is the kind of stuff that I get. You know, here's another one called You'll Probably Remember These Faces. And it's like people that were movie stars back when they were really young. And here's another one called I Bet This Is Why Insurance Rates Are Climbing. These represent the future of America. It is good to be old at times. And it's 20 actual comments received by Thomas Cook Vacations from dissatisfied customers. I mean, it's just, normally it's political rant stuff. Those were like funnies or whatever, but he sent 3 of those in a 2-day period. And it's like, I don't have time for that, you know? So my mom doesn't even have my email address, I don't think. Because she kind of is a serial forwarder too. So, you know, all right. So to all the young people in the audience, don't become a serial forwarder when you retire and you have too much time on your hands. Be selective in what you send. And to all the old people in the audience, don't forward your crap.
That's right.
Was that awful?
Don't do it. No, it wasn't
You
bad.
got there, man. That looks
Was that a
good.
good joke? That's I read. I probably could have paraphrased that joke had I read it first.
It was good.
I thought
liked
it was funny.
Well, then good. You want me to give you his email address, and I can hook you up on his funny of the day list.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, usually during the you know, the election, they were all like just political ranting stuff. During football season, they'll all be Alabama football related. But apparently during the summer, they're just funny. What's up, Eric? I haven't seen you in like 14 days.
Yep.
Well, except for the show the other morning. Aren't we on together?
Yeah, last week.
I see a tail.
Big here.
Is that Eric's tail?
Yeah, Eric's half horse now.
Come on,
You must be happy with the wagon.
come on, all the way. Come on. Up, up. Come. There
The other Jason, formerly known as Hopper, said, Dusty, is amazing how similar our lives are. My dad just sent me an email on the Iraqi dinar currency on how we're all going to be millionaires last month.
Oh,
Tim said he taught my stepfather how to use a computer. OMG, he's an email stalker, sending her own pictures and jokes. What you have to do is you have to make sure you bookmark Snopes when you teach them how to use a computer, and you say, okay, you need to read this website every morning. And so that way they go and they read Snopes and read all the latest, and they know that everything that comes in their inbox from their other old friends is pretty much all BS because they can debunk it.
aw, good morning, doggy. He's a cutie.
Who, Eric?
Yeah,
Oh, don't mouth kiss that.
with his long ears.
Come on, everybody
That's how I
kiss
clean
their puppy.
That dog's tongue's so big that I'm pretty sure he just licked your whole entire face. And
I was really hoping you were gonna say ears or something else.
Talking nasty about my puppy.
Always
one
in the
serious
gutter, I
question.
swear. Always.
Oh my gosh. I'd sold those leather pants.
What'd you get for
Right.
$199 plus shipping.
him? I
sweet.
told you you're just a hair high, but
Woohoo!
Well, she went with $249, and we decided that, and she usually ran a regular sale that they would kind of come down to.
Yeah,
You
they
know.
they were up to 224 or something like that, and then they wouldn't buy them at 224. It ended on that, and then I was like, "Well, shit, I don't want to
See,
go up too much from that," so I did 199.
yeah.
see, and I think best offer. We were talking about this yesterday. Best offer can be
Well, I did those that Shira wakes me up.
Okay.
go to bed, Luke. It's past your
Not
bedtime.
one Shira.
1, 2.
Luke, go make me some breakfast.
He's still half out.
He's ignoring me.
He just woke up.
I think with best offer, I think you can go to. I think there's people that are afraid. I think there's people out there, shoppers, buyers, potential buyers, that feel like with best offer that
They're gonna search you.
they're afraid to make what they feel like would be a lowball offer. On the flip side, there's a lot of them that just aren't scared to. But I think even that little bit of difference, I think you can go too high. I was looking at another reseller's inventory yesterday. They were griping in a video about how, eBay's awful and they flipped the switch, essentially, in so many words. They flipped the switch and it's summertime and they're hiding listings and this and that. So I went and looked at I know their seller name. I went and looked at their inventory. The fact of the matter is they're just too damn high on everything. They have an item that normally would sell for about $30 to $40 and they have it at $80. Plus they're charging like $5 shipping on top of it. Which at that point you might as well just throw the shipping in free. I think they're literally so high that people are intimidated and afraid to make a $40 offer.
Right,
And
right.
every item that I looked up, it became more and more obvious that their stuff was eBay's not dead. Your crap's too high. Not to mention some of it's really not that desirable. There was another one in there. It was a brand new sealed board game, and their total landed price with shipping was about $40. So I went and looked the same board game up, brand new and sealed, same condition. I could buy it all day long for $20 shipped. So why would people buy that $40? And people are probably going to be afraid to make an offer, because in order for them to make an offer that's competitive, they'd have to offer you about $15. Or they can just go, you know what, that's not worth waiting to hear back, because there's a lot of sellers out there don't respond to offers in a timely manner. And why should I wait to hear back for 2 or 3 days when I can just go click this one over here? And the more I looked at this person's inventory, the more it became obvious, because it wasn't bad inventory. They're not a bad seller. They don't have bad stuff.
Right.
But they don't have bad stuff. But at the same time, it's they were just too high on everything.
That's what we were.
And I think it's too easy to make
it.
Huh?
When we were talking about the pants, when she was going to relist them, I said, you got to get it just under that $200 mark. Get a 1 in front of it.
Right.
And it's just weird how that psychology works. But somebody will pay $199, but they won't pay $204. It's $5 difference on a couple $100, but it's all it takes is getting it. You got to find that perfect little price sometimes for a unique item.
Yeah. I've been going through all my prices and seeing if I can cut them down a little bit, and actually I'm kind of switching it up a little bit. Some of my stuff I'm taking off of free shipping and just adding the shipping extra. Because I do believe that people will pay shipping, because they have in the past, and I mean, I know this. I just feel like it's every once in a while. I think it's all the time actually. It's a thing of what's right for the buyer that's looking at the page right now, and not all the time is it free shipping. I think that sometimes it can be, but sometimes I think that they, for some reason, think that shipping's extra, or and they don't look, you know, and notice that it has free shipping on it. And so they think that's the price without shipping.
I think for me, it's not as much. I think the reason I do free shipping is because with 1-day handling, I get fast and free out next to my name. That I think they will probably notice. The biggest thing for me is to get that Cassini bump to get my item, because Cassini, I feel, likes that, and I think we've proven that amongst other things. Oh, the other thing with this other seller, they're doing 30-day listings. So I ran a couple of their items, specific item numbers through, Struggleville has that tool on his website. If you go Google it, it's just the eBay seller rank tool, and it'll bring it up. And I ran this person's item. One of the items, I ran a very generic term, like, I don't know, let's say suntan lotion or whatever. This is after tan stuff, but suntan lotion. And there were like 1,500 active things. Well, this person apparently had done this seller had done their listings on 30-day listings. It still had 28 and a half days left. So it had gotten that little bump from just listing it. Out of 1,500 active listings, they were at 1,250, which means that if somebody does best match, it's going to show the buyer 1,500 suntan lotions or whatever it was, the item was, and you're going to be number 1,250. You're going to be buried on page like number 6 or 7 with 200 listings per page. They're not going to find you, and then they didn't have free shipping. They didn't have a lot of things going for it. So it's really just to get that advantage. 30-day listings are really tough if you're selling competitive items. We talked about it with Tara's selling lawnmower parts. There may only be 5 other people out there. That's not going to really make a difference, because somebody searches and there's 5. You're right there already. So yes, I see that. Or multiple quantity items to keep that, once you sell a couple, it bumps you to the top or whatever. I still, even on my multiple quantity items, do 7-day listings, because you know what? They end up selling again and it bumps it right back to the top. It's just the way I do things. But this, basically, and Eric, you know who I'm talking about, because we looked at their inventory when they were griping the last time. And we looked at it a couple weeks ago, and it was really blatantly obvious for this person. eBay's not dead. eBay thinks that you're not a relevant seller. It thinks that your items aren't relevant. The person hadn't listed anything new the whole entire time I went on vacation. They didn't. I thought, well, let's see what they've listed lately. They hadn't listed an item the whole entire time. I was gone for 10 days, and they didn't list a new item.
In probably the last 6 weeks, they probably only listed maybe 5 items.
And wait just one second, just as a little side note. I mean, a lot of us have been here a long time. I mean, I've been doing eBay since '96, and you read these general forums and stuff. You'll see these comments all the time. eBay's dead. eBay's dead. Well, listen, it's now 2017. The thing still hasn't friggin' died. Okay, so obviously you're not doing something right.
If it was literally dead, there would be nobody selling right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
nobody, and there's still people selling.
As far as I'm concerned, free shipping, you get all those extra little things, but the biggest thing that I like about free shipping is that I don't have to think about shipping costs.
Right.
Don't worry about it. I kind of have an idea about what it's going to cost me. I build that into the price of my item, and then I don't worry about it. If I'm a little low, I eat it. If I'm a little high, I keep it. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's all built right in. It just drives me crazy when you see somebody who charged $8 for shipping, and then they're whining because they had to pay $10 to ship it.
Well,
that is funny. I know exactly what you mean.
I understand that. And I agree with you, because, like, doing a couple of listings that has, I'm like trying to think, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And just having to think about it,
I don't think about shipping costs. I look up something. If I'm selling something that somebody else has already sold, I look it up and I see what they charged or what they got for it. Plus, if they charge shipping, kind of add that in together. I'm like, all right, that's what I'm going to look for. I don't even think about, shipping, is it going to be in a regional A, B, I got to put it at a padded flat rate. I don't care.
And at the same time, at the same time, I was having problems with for some reason on my eBay, my whenever I would put in my dimensions and stuff like that, it was charging an enormous amount for shipping. And like a stuffed dog or something that had a big head on him, he he was going for like $99
Yeah,
to
I remember that.
California. And I probably could have shipped him for like 7 or 10, you know. Sorry,
Yeah,
Valerie. Didn't mean to make it blush.
yeah, because we found that we were wondering why you weren't, because you were a little slow on sales, so we looked it up, and your shipping to costs were just driving everybody away from your store.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's happened with other sellers. We they've complained because their sales are slow, and why isn't this moving? And you look it up, and it's like, well, geez, you're 3 states away, and it's going to charge me $50 to ship it because the dimensions, everybody forgets that the dimensions are 108 inches or 120 inches for priority mail, and that's the go to the post office site, it'll tell you how to measure it. I don't want to deal with it, but if you go in and you put in the dimensions, it'll kick you into dimensional weighting, and then you'll be paying for like a 40-pound box when it's really only 4 pounds.
See,
Right.
Doesn't understand that stuff.
And I see a lot of talk about, Jack Smack said, and he's been doing it apparently a long time, and he does both eBay and Amazon. He says eBay's dead for him. I think, there's a lot of talk about seasonality in the chat right now. I think it really depends on what you're selling. I think the trend right now, and it gets picked on a lot, it's probably over picked on, but the trend right now is to pick on clothing and stuff like that. If you're a primarily clothing seller, I don't know what, I know that I personally didn't buy any clothes. I mean, I still shop for my phone while I'm on vacation, but if I do it, it's going to be for more practical items. If I was a collector of stuff, I had a lot of downtime on my vacation, I probably would buy collectible stuff, if that was something. If I was a tool person, and Jason sells a lot of tools, those people play with their tools. Those people play with their tools, all the time, or mess with their tools. They still have their business going. So if you're selling stuff that's relevant, and that's why I like having a good mix of inventory. If I look through what I sold in the last 3 days since I turned my stuff back on, it's practical. It's water filters, it's receptacles, it's collectibles, it's Avon stuff, that people have to have that particular makeup. That's something they have to have. Everything that I've sold in the last couple of days isn't an impulse item. I'm looking at every bit of it is either a collectible that people don't quit collecting because it's summer usually, or it's a practical need to have item.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think you have to have more of a diverse inventory that can cover a lot of different areas. Like I don't do just clothes. I do other, I do shoes. I do, a little bit of RA. I have a little bit of everything in there. I have makeup. I have, medical supplies. I have, just a bunch of different things. Now, one thing, and I will say this, and probably do I have an echo?
Yeah.
It's a slight one. I don't know. Everybody's getting it.
I don't know what's going on. Is that better?
No.
Oh.
Not me. Hold on. Jason, try it now.
Hello?
Check. You got to keep talking. Recite the.
Hello. I think it's Jason.
Yeah, it was Jason. Jason, you can unmute yourself as soon as you turn your volume down.
Sorry, Jason.
Jason never echoes.
I know, that's so weird.
Yeah.
So one thing that I did with my clothing is, because it was pretty much at a standstill and I was listing and everything. So what I did with my clothing was I found that a lot of my items I had best offer on. Well, all of my items I have best offer on, but I would find that most of my clothes would be anywhere from 15 to say $30 on the average item. But I was getting a lot of my offers were somewhere between 15 to $10 range. So what I did is I put all of my clothes at $9.99 plus shipping, and I've been selling them like crazy. So
Yeah, I mean that's a viable model. If you don't have that much invested in your clothing, there's nothing wrong with that.
right.
Well, do y'all remember John Chartier? He used to be on the old morning show, and he had a business selling blue jeans. He would buy blue jeans by the and then he got into flags, and he's doing a lot of Amazon stuff now. But he had a business with a trailer, one of these tractor trailer boxes in his backyard, set up as an office. He'd buy Gaylord boxes wholesale full of blue jeans, and he would list every pair at like, I don't know, $12.99, free shipping or something, whatever it was. And his model basically was to have $1 a pair of jeans and net, or maybe it's $14.99, I don't know, but the net $6 or $7, $12, whatever he netted off of each pair of jeans, and he listed every single pair exactly the same price, and he blew them out. But he made up for it with quantity. That's a viable model. There's nothing wrong with clothing if you're capable of pumping out those kind of listings.
Right.
You know, if you're the kind of person that doesn't mind listing 100 items every day, 6 or 7 days a week.
Yeah, but when you're listing the exact same item, all you're doing is changing a measurement. You can knock out 200 items in a day without even thinking about it. You know, that's the nice thing about, you know, being a volume seller of like items.
Right.
Yeah,
So I mean, you have to.
What about if you change it around though and make it a high volume seller, but change the product around to a higher dollar point? Wouldn't that person be crushing it? I mean, basically, they have the skill set to do it already.
Yeah, but it's also it's hard to get high value items in quantity.
Yeah.
Well, by high value, I don't mean like $100 plus items. I mean like, you know, consistent $25 items instead of like the $10 clothing items is what I'm saying. It can still be clothing, but just on a higher
but again,
value.
It's still harder to find high value. I mean, clothing that somebody's going to buy online without ever having it in their hands. It's hard to find consistently $30 to $40 items. You know that you can buy enough bulk. Now you can, but your costs are gonna be higher as well too. So you kind of have to, you know, it'll work. I mean, if you can, you know, I would rather, like I said, that's why I went through my entire clothing pile and I got rid of anything that wasn't worth at least 20 to 25 bucks. You know, because that way when I do list something, it's like listing 3 things for 30 bucks, 3 things for $10. I list 1 thing for 30 bucks.
Right.
Right. You're basically doing less work.
Yeah, and I'm all about less work. Everybody knows that. So.
You know, and back to
that should be like your motto.
Right.
I'm gonna comment to comfortable.
My hero.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
We're just ignoring you.
I thought so. I'm going to comment to the Comfortable Life who kind of said, oh, I saw a video and somebody was playing Comfortable Life, kind of figured out who I'm talking about. And I'm not bashing, but that same seller that I was talking about a minute ago, I haven't seen them run a sale, a percentage off. And what reminded me is Beth C said I ran a 31% off sale over the weekend. It brought a lot of traffic to my store. So regular price items and sale items. If you run a sale, and which I do it on a regular basis anyhow, but if you run a sale and all of a sudden see a ton of stuff selling, that just tells you your stuff was overpriced. You know, and this particular seller that I'm talking about, I haven't seen them run a sale in their store in a while. If they would run everything in there about 30 to 40% off, it would put their stuff within a realistic or price range or realistic enough that they would get some, you know, offers. People weren't afraid to make offers, and they wouldn't be sitting here talking about how eBay's slow and you need to make a plan B and plan for your retirement, and nobody's going to retire from selling on eBay, and the world is
I think the Comfortable Life definitely puts something in there about retirement. You do need to have a plan, and your plan could be Social Security. Not a great plan, but it could be a plan. Now, what you got to make sure, and that's where we always say that, you know, you claim your taxes on everything, and a lot of us will have our spouse under their, if they're not a working spouses and they're not working outside the home, it's in their name, so they can actually claim the taxes, because Social Security requires you to have a work period. You know, you have to have so many years of work before you can qualify for Social Security. So you have to think about stuff like that. There's something.
Well, That's why all of our eBay and all of our Amazon for the past about 6 or 7 years has been in Tristan's name. Every year because I've already maxed out my quarters for Social Security. She had not. So that when I file the taxes every year, it counts as income. It counts as income for her. Now, what I'm probably going to do, since she's probably close, I'm going to have to check and see if she's maxed out, but I'm probably going to swap it up in the next year or so and probably just go ahead and form an LLC and then write us each. It'll mean a little more paperwork, but write us each even paychecks every week so that we're both, which means I'll have to withhold payroll taxes and all that kind of crap. But it'll just mean quarterly paperwork versus, yearly paperwork as a DBA, but a little more work, but so we can both continue to pay on and have it fine. But I think a lot of people don't think about that though.
Yeah, I mean that's why my wife had the eBay account and everything in her name, for several years, so we could actually keep continuing to put in, under her name because I was working, and why not do something like that? So, but yeah, those are, I mean, those are definitely viable questions. You have to think about it and how long, but eBay is the one business you can do after you retire. It's probably easier to do if you've been working a regular job and then you want to retire, because you can sit at home and do your work.
Right.
I don't know. I would take all your retirement and put it in like Sears stock.
I got lucky. I sold when I worked for Kmart. I had a ton of stock because I'd been buying it in the stock plan, and when I left, I sold it all, and I was extremely happy to get like $11 a share. I was losing money, but I was like kicking my heels up because I got $11 a share. And I'd been buying it at one point. I was buying it at like $30 a share. So I mean, I was just like, oh my god, because they were going through reorganization. This was back in 2000, and it wasn't. But 2 or 3 years later, they were at like $3 a share.
I don't know where now. I think it's between 3 and 4. If I remember.
Yeah.
Right.
2 years. I give Kmart 2 years.
Yeah.
The Comfortable Life had some interesting comments. I think like with any videos. And I don't mean to go down this rabbit hole, but it's like the 5 of us sitting here. I can't count this morning on this panel.
At least you didn't use your fingers.
Our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our lifestyle. That this is, and not that there's anything wrong when anybody does videos that it's not a full-time income, but all the backstory. If we're full-time, if we're part-time, we're pretty transparent about all of it. But it saddens me that so many people watch YouTube and don't bother to. I'm not saying you have to be like stalker digging, read between the lines, but it's easy to look up somebody's inventory. It's easy to see what somebody's seller name is. Go look at their souls and see if they're walking the walk and talking the talk. And if you see that they're not and they're doing YouTube videos, then I think common sense. And it amazes me how many of these YouTubers get really big, and I sit and watch the video and I'm like, they're after YouTube money. They're pumping out a video. There's one person that had done 45 videos in the last 30 days. Okay, you're not about teaching people how to resell. Come on. That's just common sense right there. Ain't nobody got time to do all. And then they're editing videos, which that's why I don't edit. It takes too much time. I don't have any time for that. You get it with flaws, you get it with everything else. But they're taking the time to edit and everything else, and it's just. But people just follow so blindly. I think people want hope. They want to believe in something, and it saddens me because they're following somebody that hasn't even proven that they're successful a lot of times, and they're going to imitate that, and they're going to fail. And that really does make me sad, because there's other great information out there. Yeah, we're not as polished or we're not as whatever, but if you watch me and Tristan, or you watch any of these people here, we may talk about poop and pee and go down God knows what rabbit hole, but you're going to learn something because we're all really doing it,
Right.
Well, the thing is, we're not all Jason pumping out thousands of dollars every week, but we make.
That's it. Single me out. Thank you.
We all make a living.
I don't like attention.
You've been on a really good run. That's all.
I'm just the only reason I'm on fire is because I'm just putting a lot of effort into it lately.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, but I mean, normally you don't have these type of runs. I mean, you've just had some really good stuff. You've thrown up and everything, but that's not a big deal. But I can also remember that month where you didn't get anything because you didn't do anything that month.
Yeah, like December when I didn't want to do a damn thing, and I.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to retire on my eBay money, not for certain, but I can pay my bills on my eBay money.
Well, the person that was talking about retirement said that they were going to get into they wanted to get into something that was passive income, and they were more passive income. When I'm older and I won't be able to whatever, and so they were doing merch by Amazon. There's people that make really good money doing merch and doing things. Jeff Davidson is a great example. Jeff Davidson also makes a lot of money doing vinyl decals with a cutter. You can still do that when you're retired and you're 80. I mean, all you gotta do is put it and cut it and whatever. But as far as doing merch by Amazon and creating t-shirt designs, I don't think anybody's going to retire on that. The Chinese, until something changes in this country or changes with Amazon, the minute you come up with a good design, the Chinese are going to take the same saying. They don't follow our copyright laws. They don't care about our copyright laws. They're going to take the same saying, tweak it a little bit, or they're just going to copy your design word for word exactly. They're going to do the same thing, and they're going to go sell it. They're going to sell it cheaper. And that's what's happening. So I don't think, and this is me talking, I don't really feel that there's a whole lot of, I don't think anybody's going to retire. Could you make a whole lot of money in a short period of time, maybe, and sock it away? Yeah, but that's a damn lot of work coming up with a whole lot of designs that are going to actually provide you any sort of meaningful income. You'd have to sell tens of thousands of t-shirts, or, if it's cafe press and it's coffee mugs or whatever.
And you're making, to be competitive, you're making what, $5 or $6 on a shirt.
So, unless you're a creative designer who can constantly pump up different ideas and concepts.
Exactly, Jack.
But even like, say, jewelry or anything else, that's crafty, it'll be copied, sure, when it gets hot. But if you're constantly able to supply new ideas and stuff, there's nothing, that's pretty viable.
And I do think there's some people that just literally don't want to work. Jason and I were talking to the other Jason that's in here, Jason Banana, and I were talking about yesterday. I think there's some people that just don't want to. They want to take the easy way out. They're looking for that next get rich quick thing. And at the end of the day, you're not going to just, unless you're just really lucky, you invent something. Our daughter's boyfriend's uncle has a exercise device that he sells to QVC. He does the things. The guy is like 70-something years old. He's really fit. I mean, the guy's making bank, but he invented this. He developed it over in China or Thailand or somebody with another inventor and had it made and manufactured. But he also knows that could come to a screeching halt, and he's taken his money and the guy's socking it away and he's done really well. Unless you're really, really lucky like that. I mean, the way it's all about work. It's hard work and putting in the stuff, but it's also about using your mind. And I'm not bashing merch, Amazon merch t-shirts, but I don't see anybody. I'm sure there's a group out there, and there's probably a Chris Green or somebody that's making, somebody like that that's probably making it, but they're probably 1 in a million. You're going to have to be really good. Jeff Davidson does really good with it. Jeff Davidson is also damn good at graphic design. He's a very creative person. I mean, he can whip out about anything. Huh?
He's a photographer, and his photography is excellent. I mean, he's got the eye for art. And so,
exactly,
kudos to him. He's actually maximizing the dollars on that. But I would love to have that eye and that ability, but I don't. I love taking photos and stuff like that. I don't have the ability that a good photographer does.
Jack Smack said, but most people that do merch aren't designers and they're outsourcing it. So a hot shirt is only going to be hot for a couple weeks at most. It's not fire and forget it, Yeah. And I agree, because you're outsourcing it to a country that's going to steal your idea. That's what cracks me up about it.
What are you guys' thoughts on jewelry? Said Mary O. Was at a store this morning and they have a bunch of it on clearance. Would it be worth it? And I will tell you that most jewelry in a store has a markup of around 90%.
Yeah.
So even though it's on clearance, you're still paying more than what it's really worth.
It's all about brand too. I mean, it's going to have to be a desirable brand, and I'm trying to think of something that's
you know, if it's Tiffany,
if it's Target and it's Mossimo or whatever, and it's, you know, seashell necklaces, the shark's tooth on them. You know, it's something like that that's pretty generic. Then, you know, and it's Mossimo. There's probably a gazillion. Here, let's go over to eBay. I can't remember how to spell Mossimo. Mossimo necklace.
Yeah.
You know, 17 results. That's it. Did I spell Mossimo right? Maybe a bad example. That might actually be, you know, but it's just, I mean, who's going to be searching for, who's going to be like, I really need a Mossimo? I don't think Target's gained enough of a following that people really, not that it's a bad brand. I mean, I have stuff that's branded that. I'm not bashing it, but I don't think it's enough of a, has enough of a following. Like Eric said, if it's Tiffany, yes. Or if it's, you know, something that has a following.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, most people, if it's not a vintage, well-known designer, most people who are selling jewelry are selling gold or silver content. You know, but I mean, there's nothing wrong if you get it at what you think is a good price and you can make some money on it. I would certainly test the market.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do that if I see something that I like and I'm like, I don't know if that's ever going to sell. You know, but I might pick up, especially if I can get a quantity of it, I might buy 10 of them and see if I can get them to move.
Right.
And if they don't move, then great. I pitched a bunch of wooden newel posts that I had that I couldn't sell to save my life, and I had like 30 of them. But I was in them for like $6. So I had them up for a year, and I didn't sell a single one, so I just threw them away.
Mary said it was $16, now $4.80.
So they're running about 70% off. That'd be about a Kmart pricing. So yeah, I mean, I used to work at Kmart and I ran the jewelry department. It's one of my areas. I was assistant manager for them, and 70% off sale was constantly on because we really were in the stuff for about 5% of what retail was.
$4.80 sounds like Target clearance pricing. If they can't get, here's what you got to think about. If that store can't get rid of it at $4.80 and it's still sitting on clearance after a while, yes, you have a bigger audience probably on eBay because you have a worldwide audience. But at the same time, if that's being clearanced, let's say it's a chain store, let's say it is Target, and it's clearanced, they've clearanced that whole line in all their stores, and all those are still sitting at $4.80 and people aren't buying them. To me, that says, okay, first of all, why did they clearance it? Why did they get rid of that line? Why did they whatever? Yeah, people do get rid of them. I'm not bashing clearance because, I mean, there's toys that get clearanced out all the time that people do really well with, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes they just don't have enough shelf space. And like Walmart, for instance, will get rid of perfectly good items because a newer model came out. But I think, me personally, $4.80 for something that they were selling at $16, that'd be a little high. Unless you can look it up and see where it's selling for, you know, 15, but I'm really doubtful that that would be selling for 15.
Yeah.
And, you know, another thing might be too is, you know, you might say, okay, talk to the manager. Say, hey, I would like 50 of these, but what's your, you know, see if you can get them for $2 a piece. See if they'll make you a deal.
All depends on the store.
It's probably not going to happen, but, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's worth it.
She said it was Meyer's store. I'm familiar with those. We just don't have them here, so I don't know if their managers are the kind that, yeah, would work with you. They might. But everybody's talking about retirement, you know, and like Jack Smack said, you know, the good thing about retirement is the ability to change your schedule as you like, not that you don't have to work. Something bad happens. It did to me, at least, to people when they when they stop working. I have a father that'll never quit working. And the minute he does, I mean, he'll probably go downhill because of keeping him active. I don't want to retire. I will always work. I can't sit still. I can't sit still. And so for somebody like that video where you're talking about where they're, you know, the comment was made that, you know, it's funny that they're not even 50 years old yet and they're already, you know, talking about retirement. There's nothing wrong with planning. I just think some people don't want to work. They truly give every indication that they don't want to do the work. They're looking for the easy way out. They want to sit back and play video games or whatever, you know, and they keep giving that indication. I'm sorry, I'm not bashing this person, but they keep giving that indication over and over and over and over again. And eventually as a viewer, you start going, I don't think they really want to do this, you know?
Right.
Yep.
What's worse is they make you feel like it's all easy stuff, and it's far from easy.
Hmm. But the thing is, yeah, reselling is a lot of work. But if it's work you enjoy, it's like I always, if you do find something you love or love to do, you'll never work another day in your life. Yes, there's days that I get back from vacation and I look at this giant pile and I'm like, oh, hell. But it's like another wise friend of mine told me, how do you eat an elephant? And I was like, I don't know. And he goes, one bite at a time. You turn on your music, whatever puts you in your happy place. You tune out everything else and you just start chipping away at it. And I love what I do. Once I start listing, I enjoy doing it. It's the dread of getting over that. But I know that's a weakness in me.
I think it's the weakness in everybody.
I've got to force myself to pick up that camera for the first time in that morning. And once I do that, I'm fine.
Yeah. That's the hardest part, I think, I know for me is just starting. Once I get moving and get in a roll, I really don't want to stop. Yeah, but it's the getting everything out of the way so I can actually start to do it. I mean, I got a ton of shipping to do this morning, so once I get that done, then I'll start on something else. But
and you can see he's right on top of it.
I'm waking up still, so
I know. We all are.
But yeah, no, I've got I had a fantastic weekend, so
That's great.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, eBay's dead because I did almost $900 this weekend, so yeah.
Woohoo!
But what did you sell?
It was all weird shit.
Oh yeah.
I sold those pewter bowls that had the HMS Medusa on them. I sold that airport controller box that I remember the one I bought that had all that controls the runway lights. I sold that. I sold 4 sets of china. And just a bunch of little weird shit. But it was all good money. I was getting $100, $200. Those were offers. Yeah, and a lot of it's going overseas, which is really good because it's shipping to Kentucky for me from Ohio, so it's kind of not going to cost me anything to ship it hardly.
Hey, did you sell a giant furry goat or whatever it was?
A giant furry goat.
Or yeah, it's in one of the icons when you look back on Valerie's videos.
He keeps that in the bed.
Oh, that's my daughter. She makes those.
Oh, I didn't see the episode, but there's an icon of the picture of you holding this big fluffy ram or whatever the hell it is.
Ram's head is what it is. My daughter actually crochets those, and they're ram's head. You mount them on the wall. It looks like an animal mount. But she does they're really nice. And somebody asked about them, so I showed it in one of the shows. So they used it for the icon. But yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, okay. They look like a retail product or of some sort. That's why I thought you were selling it.
we were talking. I think the episode we were talking about Etsy and what really is good to sell on Etsy and stuff like that. And handmade is the key. And she could make money selling them, but she's never going to get paid for her time. Because she puts a month worth of crocheting into those. So.
Right. Yeah, it was big. From the picture, it looked huge.
Yeah, she's doing a swan right now. It's going to be twice as big as that. So. But yeah, I had a great weekend. I'm just dreading packing up the china is all. I just hate. I normally don't buy stuff like that.
Sherry asked what kind of.
My daughter bought it. We were at an auction together, and she paid $30 for all the china, and I so far I've made $140 off of it. So and I still have more left.
What kind is it, Sherry asked?
It's mitten.
Are you piecing it out by the
set? I do a 5-piece setting.
Okay.
I got $35 a set for 4 sets I sold. So and I still have a 5-piece setting left and a 4-piece setting left.
I'm like you. I hate China. It's going to have to be really, really, really good. I'm trying to think of a brand that's one that I actually will pay attention to, but 9 times out of 10, I just skip over it.
Yeah, me too. Mitten is actually pretty good. My daughter she wasn't going to buy it until she looked it up and saw it normally sells in that $50 range. I just took an offer on it. The guy offered me 30. I came back at 40 and he hit me at 35. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I don't really care. I got $30 into everything. So
the only thing I will buy is like Blue Flow. If I see Blue Flow, I'll buy it.
Yeah, Flow Blue is good stuff. It's just hard to find that in quantity. You can find pieces. And really, you really kind of have to know what you're doing. because I mean, there's so many different varieties of that stuff, but the really good stuff is really valuable. But yeah, I say I don't mind shipping it now, because what I'll do is I'll individually box a lot of it up. I'll box like all the plates together into one box, and then I'll box the cups separately, and then I'll put those into a third box, a big box that holds it all together. So
I was just going to ask if you were double boxing it.
yeah, everything will be double boxed. The plates will all go together because I'll cushion those with bubble wrap in between each plate, but they'll be in its own separate box, and then I'll put the cups in a separate box. Those are the ones that usually get broken, as the cups. And then I got 4 sets going, and I'll get those into one big box with all the padding in there. I mean, it's going to be a pain to pack up and ship, but it's not a big deal.
I guess it depends on how big the set is, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, the box that'll hold the plates will be about that big, and then the cup's going to be like a 6-inch by round cup. So I'll have 4, so it'll probably stack up about that tall, maybe a little bit taller. But I got boxes that'll hold all that. So
I think you have to factor. I think, and obviously you do, but I think people in general need to factor in, and I think a lot of times they don't factor it when they're out buying stuff. Factor in what is this going to take to list it? I see a lot of people cleaning stuff. I used to know somebody that would take appliances apart down to literally all the way down and clean and scrub and polish every little piece and then put it all back together again. I was like, okay, you paid what for that? Like, okay, paid 30. You're going to sell it for 100. Then you take off fees and everything else, and you got free shipping in there, and you're going to have to box it up because it's a monster. And I was like, do you realize what your time is worth? And we used to sit and argue about it. And I think for me, the bigger, the more difficult it is, the more it needs to be cleaned, the more. I'll give you a great example. All this Fontanini stuff behind me, I'm kind of having regrets on it, simply because I've got to take each one out of the styrofoam in the box, clean it up a little bit. I mean, it's not a big deal. There's, 15 pieces. I'll knock it out in an hour, hour and a half. But
is it like just a thick layer of dust?
Huh?
Is it just like a thick layer of dust on it?
Or is it like I really haven't paid that much attention to them. I don't know how much dust these have on them. I haven't really even opened them up. I kind of bought them sight unseen from a friend. But the profit margin for me, I paid 100. What I paid? Do you remember 100?
I want to say 130.
No, you paid more than that. For the Fontanini, you paid 2 1/4.
I paid 2 1/4. Okay.
Oh, right.
I paid 2 1/4 for about 15 pieces or whatever. My total net on it, there's some really good pieces in there. It'll probably be about $800. But I hate to say it, for the amount of work going into it, that's pretty close to my point of, is it really worth it or not? Just because of the having to ship them. They're bigger, they're heavier, they're going to require, I'm going to have to go get some bigger boxes. I've got to figure out where to put them in my office. When you factor in all that stuff, then I have to ask myself, should I really have bought those or not?
Yep.
I
normally don't buy China. My daughter bought it. It was a good buy, making good money off of it, but it is a pain in the butt. But the nice thing is, it's one seller is getting the majority of it. So I have one shipping cost for all that. So I figure it's going to cost me about $20 to ship it. But
yep,
that's just kind of what it is. But I said that's the tough thing about having a big weekend. If it had been Father's Day yesterday, I would have packed it all up yesterday. But I had to go see my dad, which means I have to travel for that. So kind of screws the whole day up. But
so I got a Father's Day present last night. Our daughter gave me, and she's so good with practical gifts, because I'm like that guy that I don't need anything. I never buy myself anything. Yeah. So she brought me I use a rice cooker a lot, but I have this really cheap, crappy one that I've had for like 5 or 6 years that really doesn't do much except it cooks like 4 cups of rice or whatever. She bought me one of these bigger ones made by like Aroma or whoever it's made by. And it's got a steamer basket in the top of it. And you can use it as a slow cooker, a rice cooker, and a steamer. You can put your stuff up top and you can cook your rice and steam your stuff at the same time. Pretty cool. She's like, I was going to get you a gift card, but you wouldn't have bought yourself anything. I was like, you know me so well.
But I usually do a gift card. I'll either re-gift them to somebody else or I'll buy some present for somebody else.
If I nobody gives me cash anymore because they know I'm just going to pay the power bill with it.
Oh my God.
everybody knows when it comes to birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, just give me a card. Acknowledge that I'm alive. That's really all I care about.
Can't even send Dusty like an Amazon gift card because he'll buy like shipping supplies or something.
Who are y'all talking about? Mr. Sadie? Tim Tempe said, what I'm finding in China, the larger pieces, terrines or two-piece veggie bowls sell well, whatever. I've bought whole sets. I mean, if it's an estate sale situation where you have to buy the whole entire thing, I have literally bought the whole set, thrown the rest of it away, or gone and donated it and just kept the serving pieces because that's where the money is.
I've got a soup tureen up right now that should sell. I threw it up for $500 because it's a very rare piece, rare coloring and everything, and I have the complete piece. And I'm just kind of slowly been lowering the price, try to get that right, perfect price point. It should sell in the $250 to $300 range, and I think I hit it relisted like at $299 last time. And we'll see, where it goes. But I have nothing into it. It was a gift that some very wealthy lady gave my mom, who used to clean her house, and my mom's had it for years. And finally, I don't need it. I'm going to get rid of it. And she gave it to me to get rid of. But yeah, I don't usually do China. It's just not my thing. I do, like somebody asked about flatware, and I don't mind selling flatware if it's good stuff. I sold a bunch of dance flatware. It was really good and got really good money for. And I know there's good money in flatware. It's a pain in the ass.
You did good on that dance, didn't you?
Yeah, I made over $300 off that dance set.
Nice.
That was half my auction money in that one lot right there. I only paid $750 for the lot. So
you sold a silly sculpt yesterday, and I sold one too.
Yep.
Those were kind of one of those that when I bought, I was kind of like, oh God, why am I buying these? But once I figured out how to which I've always done, sell similar, and how I figured out the right way to list them, and I just did it assembly line fashion. I mean, it took me an hour and a half probably to list 50 or 60 of them, but they've been really good money and they're easy to ship. My biggest problem with them is there wasn't really a good way to inventory them, and so they're all in a box, and every time I sell one, I dig for that particular one.
You got those, and you listed them, and I'm like, well, I'll wait, because I have a whole box of those too, and I'm like, I'll wait to see if they sell before I list them. And he's like, oh, they're starting to sell. I'm like, all right, I'll break my box out and sell and put them up, and I've been selling them like crazy too. So it was just fun. I mean, and now I know though nobody ever wants those. I've passed those up before auction, but if
they're a dime a dozen because nobody buys them, but people buy them on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, if I find them cheap enough, I will buy them. As long as I get them in quantity, I'll buy a bunch of them again because they're easy to list and they sell. They don't take up much space.
Wait, what is it, Eric? I'm sorry, I missed that.
A silly sculpt. Dusty is going to get one out and he'll show you.
Well, this is
okay.
This one isn't a silly sculpt. It technically kind of is. It's not made by the Russ Berries company. This one's actually made by Paula.
Oh,
yeah.
And this is the one. Where's my camera? This is what I sold. So y'all have seen these. They don't sell for a whole lot, but if you're in an estate sale, and people that usually collect it, they either usually had one of these because somebody gave it to them. The grandkids gave it to them, and you'll find it covered in dust sitting on a windowsill in a kitchen at an estate sale. Or sometimes you'll find people that really collected them. If you can get in them, you'll get $12.99 to $14.99 shipped for them usually. And they go really nice in the little eBay boxes. That one weighs 5 ounces, so they almost 9 times out of 10 they go first class.
I got $12.59.
That's a pretty good tip, because if I was at like an estate sale or something and I saw that for like 5 cents, I would still walk by it.
I've passed them up for years. The only reason that I came across it was from an estate situation, and there was literally 2 big, huge moving boxes full of them. And I passed them up the first time, and I went back the second time, and I was like, yeah, and I got them all for $20.
Yeah.
Probably 50, 60 of them. So I'll make $700 or $800 off of. I think there might have been more than that. I don't remember. Off the $20 investment and a couple hours worth of work. And the thing I like about that is, yeah, they're kind of clustered together in a box, but the box on my shelf isn't taking up that much space once I kind of stacked them in there.
Right. And they don't break, right? Those are like a hard plastic. What are they?
The Paula ones were actually some sort of
They're
they almost feel
resin.
like wood.
Yeah, they're all a resin, but they look like wood and they feel like wood. I mean, it's actually really interesting, this stuff, but they all some sort of resin on them. But
The
yeah,
Russ Berries
they're pretty
ones
durable.
definitely feel more like plastic, though.
yeah, the one I sold was a Paula. It was 1972. Most of these are from like 68 to like 76. I mean, so they're cool little vintage things, and people like them. And there's a lot of different varieties of them. And I paid $1 for a box of like 30.
I wonder if it's the same person that bought mine. Is yours going to Alabama by chance?
Yeah, let's see. Got an interesting name.
I mean, they're pretty solid though. They're not like chalkware where they're easy to break.
No,
Right?
no, you're not going to chip these or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Mine's going to Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow, same lady. Initials PB.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is funny.
You should mail yours to
That's not the
me, and
first
we can
time that's
save on
happened to you
shipping, and we'll
guys.
just ship them together.
Right? That's not the first time that's happened with you guys. Wasn't there like Christmas
Yeah, we had
lights or something?
we sold those Christmas lights. The same guy, the same day.
Oh yeah. The purple Christmas lights.
Which was funny because
That
we
is
sold
so
a quantity, and yet he bought one from each of us.
And I shipped something to a guy named Dusty Bennett.
Do what?
I shipped something to a guy named Dusty Bennett too. That was pretty funny.
That's when Jim and I had a baby.
And, yeah, and I can only say that because it's like an international sale to some country that no one's ever heard of.
Speaking of Jim should be 9:31. It's 10:30 his time. He should be about halfway loaded with his house right now.
It should be more than halfway loaded.
He estimated that it was going to take, based on them having moved into that same townhouse or condo or whatever it is before, and gotten rid of a lot of stuff that they got rid of. They're getting rid of furniture that I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries and telling too much of his life. But, they got rid of some furniture. Like, hey, we never liked our dining room table. We've had it for years, and we got it from a thrift store. And he's like, we just want to start over. So there's a lot of stuff they're not bringing that they've already sold and gotten rid of. So he estimated that it would take, if they didn't send the two 95-year-old guys, he estimated it would take about 2 hours for them to load.
Yeah, I should say it's going to be about 2 hours. What time do you pick up his truck?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you forget a couple of decent, because I know he was getting a couple guys to come help him load from a moving company, and those guys can load fast because he had everything pretty much packed up at that point. So
yeah, they're worth. He's brilliant for paying somebody to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I did that one time because I had a piano. We were moving across town, and we had some steps that had to come down. So we paid. We called around, and piano movers were outrageous. And we finally got hold of this one moving company, and they said, we'll move. We need to get a piano moved. And they're like, well, we don't really do. We're going to move this. We don't really just do one piece. But if we've got a piano dolly, if you want to get a 2 hours worth of service, we'll move the piano and we'll move anything else you have left. They literally moved every big piece of furniture, including the piano, into my truck, and then we drove the truck over to the house, which is only 2 miles away. They loaded it out of my truck into my house, every heavy piece of furniture in that 2 hours, and they still had about a half hour left.
Right.
So yeah, I mean.
Well, he's hiring movers on this end too. I told him because his new house is, it's awesome. Even Tristan's like, I would totally move in it. But it's a floor plan where you walk in and it's like small, one step up, small landing, make a, whatever that is, 90-degree turn, 12 steps up, all the bedrooms and everything are up there. So I told him, I said, if you were broke, something like that, hell yeah, I would find a way to help, but he's not broke. And I said, but if you can afford to hire movers, please do, because there ain't no way. If it wasn't for the stare factor, but
yeah, his house is perfect for eBay though, for what he does.
I told him, and I said, Tristan goes, why do you keep telling him what to do? I said, because when you're in that, whatever, there's things you don't think about. He's going to take my advice and take it with a grain of salt. But there are things that I've thought of that he didn't think of. Like when he was here visiting, I said, hey, let's run by the DMV because we're right down the road. Let's go check and see what it'll take to switch your car tag over ahead of time. And, it helps to have a second set of eyes on things. But he's got I think that's technically a 2-car garage. And I told him, I said, I would not let the movers put a thing in there except for eBay. Because if you put stuff in there like Christmas trees and all that stuff, that 2 months later, they're still going to be in there. Make that eBay space only from the first moment, Yeah,
considering I unloaded my house into my garage when I first moved here, and I still have boxes I've never unloaded, and I've been here going on 4 years.
Yep. And I've got about 3 or 4 sections of shelving out in my garage that I don't need, that were the smaller ones that I had in here. So I'm going to probably, whenever they get here, I think, which is either going to be late tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to go and throw those on the flatbed and take those over so you can actually have some shelving to start putting stuff immediately on. But it should be fun. I think we need to I was talking to the bearded picker, the bearded wonder yesterday, and on the phone, and I said, we need to do something like a housewarming, like let's all get our wives and
everybody has to go pee on the mailbox.
Let's cook. What did Tristan say? I said, what could you make in bulk? And I said, how about lasagna? She said, oh, I can totally make that. It's called Stouffer's at Walmart. I'm like, Dave, that lasagna is not even that good. And she's like, well, I don't know. What about, she does a tortilla soup or something we can do in a crock pot, take over there, make a big aluminum tray full of like salad, and take some beer, take a couple bottles of wine, and just, have Zilke and his wife come, and it'd be fun.
Yeah. That would be awesome. I'm sure he would appreciate that very much.
And the important thing now is, if you're coming down to visit Dusty, Jim has plenty of sleeping space, so you can crash it at Jim's house now.
And the bathroom is located nice and easy in the office.
Right.
I don't know how if he leaves there at noon, he'll gain an hour by the time falling backwards coming this way. So technically he'll gain an hour, but what is it? It's about an 8-hour drive anyhow.
9 hours.
Not to mention you're in a freaking U-Haul truck that's full that gets God knows what gas mile, or it gets God knows how fast.
And then
It's going to spend a couple $100 in gas.
So he's got to stop and fuel up at least 5 times. You're probably going to be governed at 60 miles an hour.
Right.
Remember the old U-Hauls, the back in the day? U-Haul's actually gotten a lot better with their fleet, but for years, they took anything until they had a bunch of lawsuits. They took anything that would roll and would literally leave it on there. We were at a gas burner one time. We were going to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, right after Tristan and I met. We were going to move out there. We packed everything from my 2-bedroom apartment and what little bit of stuff she had, because she pretty much lived with me. But packed it all in a 28-foot truck and get in it, and it's got like 260,000 miles on the truck. It's a gas burner. It smokes inside the cab. It's governed at 55 miles an hour. And so I'm trying to go up and down these mountains, going through Arkansas, going up and down, and it was literally like just max it all the way out. The RPM going down the hill to try to make it up the other side of the hill. Oh, and then I had an Isuzu Rodeo. No, she was driving the Rodeo. I had an Acura Integra on a car carrier. I was pulling behind it.
Yeah. I did that.
1986.
It took us 2.5 days. What should have been in a car was about a 12, 13-hour trip from Birmingham. It took us 2.5 days to get there. We made it as far as, where was Elvis born? That's where we made it to.
Tupelo, Mississippi.
But it wasn't Tupelo. It was the next. Yeah, it was Tupelo. And this is the days before smartphones. So I'm like, look, there's a roadway in or whatever. And we go in. I said, I just want a shower. And I turn on the tub and the water comes out like rust colored. I'm like, oh, dear God, this is going to be the trip from hell. And the floor was wet in the room. So I take my shoes off. I walk across the floor in my socks to go turn on the rusty water. And my socks are all soaked.
Yeah, I stayed in a motel once, went to turn the water on in the sink, and the drain had been disconnected, and literally the water just runs out onto my feet as I'm standing there at the sink. Like, are you kidding me?
Do you ever get one of those hotel rooms that you have to drop a quarter in, the bed vibrates?
Oh, that was back in the day, back in the 80s. Yeah.
Jack's back.
I've been in hotel rooms where I literally, first off, you take the comforter off the bed because they never wash the comforter, so I always take those off and throw them in the corner. But literally, lock the door, crank the door up, put the gun on the nightstand, and sleep with one eye open. I've been in hotel rooms like that. So
my favorite one was the comedian that said, they never wash the comforters. Like he said, they never wash the comforters in hotel rooms. When's the last time you saw a maid cart pushing comforters down there? He goes, you don't, because they don't wash them. He goes, so what I like to do is I can't remember which comedian it was. And he goes, I like to lay down on the bed like this and do my arms. Look, I'm making a pubic hair angel. He delivered the joke a little better than that, but
Oh my God.
so is anybody else? Of course, I haven't
I don't
shipped.
think
This is the
anyone's
first time
ever
I've
put
shipped
those
it.
2 words in a sentence before.
Huh?
I don't think anyone's put those 2 words in a sentence before. Pubic hair angel. I'm sorry, continue.
So is anybody? I'm getting a pop-up right now when I'm trying to ship that says from eBay, which I don't use Internet Explorer, but it says important information. We are aware of label printing problems with Internet Explorer browsers. If your printed label appears blank, please use a different browser and try it again.
hey, it worked on the same thing on Chrome too, so I don't want to hear about it.
Well, I'm on Chrome. It popped up on Chrome, but I mean, they're printing just fine.
It's been years since I've gotten a label to print on Internet Explorer.
It's been years.
I was forced to switch to Chrome.
I think I deleted Internet Explorer from my computer right after I switched over from my Opera. Do you remember Opera?
Yep.
And Netscape.
I do remember that.
Commentator.
Once upon a time.
Oh, my toner's leaving line.
I gotta go, guys. Catch you later.
All right. Have a good day.
Enjoy, everyone.
Have fun.
Enjoy everyone. Or enjoy, period, everyone.
There you go. Linda's Rocky Mountain Fine says, I was briefly getting an error a while ago while doing my shipping. It says Google Chrome couldn't find the shipping page, but it cleared up after a few minutes. I think it's
Yeah, when I shipped on Friday, I had a couple times where it would come up as a blank, and you could see it was like a broken lane message. So, and I reloaded like 6 times, couldn't do it. So I actually had to get out, go to the shipping labels page, and reprint the label from there.
right.
This cartridge is fairly new, but it's leaving lines through it, so I'm gonna swap it out for one I have laying here.
It's a bad cartridge.
If it is, that's what sucks about ordering them off Amazon and ordering a 2-pack, is you get 30-day returns, but you don't know whether or not they're gonna be any good because nobody uses. I don't go through 2 of them in 30 days. Or you'll open one like what I'm doing now and discover it's exploded. And then you contact them and they go, I had one of the companies on Amazon do this, and they go, I'm sorry, it's been way over 30 days. I said, well, hell, I didn't need it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. We can play that game. So I ordered another 2-pack from the same company and just took the old one, took the ones they refused to take back and stuck them back in the box and sent them back. And I hate to be a douche like that, but I think on an item where it takes you a while to use it, you ought to be allowed a little bit more of a leeway. But I mean, I get it from a seller standpoint. But the guy wasn't even nice about it when I messaged him. He's like, it's been 60 days. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get around to using it till now.
Yeah, it was a 2-pack. I didn't open up both of them to see if they both were bad,
Well, and the thing that pissed me off is it was literally exploded, and I got toner everywhere, and I was like, okay, that's not cool. They hadn't capped the little fill hole on it, and it was basically, a bad reman. Let's see if that works.
Yeah. When I buy toner, I mean, I'm only paying like $12 a piece anyway, so I'm not that concerned about it.
It's just frustrating if you run out of toner and you're to that point where you have to have it.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, I gotta wait 2 days.
Oh. That's the nice thing is the only thing I use my laser printer for now anymore is packing slips and the occasional FedEx label.
Did it come out of Nicaragua? No, it was from Amazon FBA. And it wasn't noted that it was coming from Nicaragua. Amazon loved that. Yeah. Well, that's Jack does. Jack knows. That's how they're all getting around everything now. Is they're putting. That's why I won't buy anything merchant fulfilled on Amazon, because they've all figured out, all the Chinese and everything else have figured out how to
put an LA address.
It ships from Texas, and like 9 times out of 10, it's for some reason they use Texas. I don't know if they have nice, mailbox stores there that'll open a box for anybody, or what the deal is with Texas. And then once you find out, it says your item has been shipped, and they give you the tracking number, and it's like China Post or whatever. Amazon's gotten bad. That's kind of why I've just given up on it for now. Put it on the back burner.
Yep.
The other thing that they're doing that I was reading about, it's been going on for a while, but I was reading about it the other day, is the Chinese are taking, and I'm not blaming solely the Chinese, but I'm sorry, the majority of the problem, if you're Chinese and you're watching this, it's not a cultural thing. But they're registering domains that look legit, and then sending cease and desist things through, contacting Amazon to say that your item that you, Eric, your item that you're selling on Amazon violates intellectual property rights or is counterfeit or whatever. Well, Amazon, rather than doing the research, goes, oh, we got something from legal at orangecoffeecup.com. That must be legit. So they send Eric a message, hey, we've received a whatever, we're just passing it along, which is kind of horse shit. And this is where I'm kind of disgusted with Amazon until they fix all this kind of stuff. Somebody's going to countersue the crap out of them. And I think Amazon's going to end up in some deep doggy doo at some point. It's really ignorant, because the solution is really, really, really simple. They need to create a program and dedicate a team. They need to create a program similar to Vero. Make people register as the actual manufacturer, make people actually prove that they are the actual manufacturer, and not let anybody do these fake, takedown claims and stuff.
Well, here, the biggest problem is people are selling things as new. When it's while it is a new in the package, it's not technically new because you bought it from somebody else. And what's going to happen is, if you try to represent something as new that you purchased already, you no longer can claim, right of first, the right of first sale, because it's already been sold once. You should be selling that as a used item, used, never opened, but not new.
Well, the biggest problem where selling new comes into play, where it becomes an issue, is if the warranties aren't transferable.
Yeah.
That's where it really becomes an issue. If I go out and I buy Fitbits, I always look at random stuff on my desk when I'm trying to come up with an example. And I buy a Fitbit, and Fitbit says, hey, we have a 1-year warranty, but it's good only with proof of purchase from the original authorized dealer. And I can't turn around and take that Fitbit that I got on clearance. I can technically take that and sell it on Amazon as new, Now, a pair of scissors that are brand new that probably most likely don't have a warranty to speak of, I don't have any problem with selling something like that as new.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's all a fine line, and that's, the manufacturers are figuring it all out, and they're finding the loopholes, and they're realizing that they definitely have, and there's been lawsuits about that. They definitely have a loophole going on, with the whole warranty thing, and that's what they're using. It's like Jack said in the comment. There's a lot of shenanigans going on Amazon. I expect to be suspended any day because of all of it, even though we follow the rules to a T. that for me, I think, and I agree. That for me was really the biggest thing. Was like, I don't want to wake up every morning not knowing if I have a business or not.
I remember when you were
I can't sleep and live like that.
I remember when you were heavy on Amazon, it was every day you wake up, check your Amazon, something happens, something gets screwed up, and I mean, there are times when it gets tense with stuff like that. It's like, do you want that always going on in the back of your head?
And I think at the end of the day, is it more work to do eBay? Yes. Did I lose income while we were on vacation because I took all my inventory down, whereas we were Amazon FBA before we still had income? Yes. Am I stuck shipping every morning? Yes. Is it a little more work? Is it a little more whatever? Yeah. But it's also more profit margin wise. I do better on eBay right now. I mean, that's a given. So we've just had to rearrange our lifestyle.
There's very few things you can make eBay style profit on Amazon. There's very few things, and you'll find the occasional thing doing the package rare stuff, but it's just not the same thing. I mean,
I liked Amazon when I did it, but it got to be where it was an ongoing thing of customers. I pay that fee, and this may be completely wrong, but I paid that fee basically because they had the customer service, and I liked that. I didn't have to deal with that. Amazon paid for, they paid their people to take care of the customer service, and then when people started, my item is in their warehouse, but the person is actually messaging me, asking me questions about it. I don't have it here, and I had enough of that. I didn't appreciate that. I thought it was kind of a slap in the face. So, when I had a chance to pull my inventory, that's what I did. And I don't regret it at all.
The Crazy Card said some a-hole bought a set of pillows from me for $200. After receiving the item, they made an offer on another. I noticed they had not left feedback, so I contacted them, and they are fishing for a partial refund. Did they ask for a partial refund, or you're worried that they are? Because when I first read that, without the line in there about the partial refund, it sounds like somebody just liked the pillows and ordered a second set.
Right. That's what I got out of it. But,
I would personally just throw them. I mean, I know a lot of people say, I've never used my block list. I think it was Jason. He's like, I haven't used my block list ever in 20 years. I mean, I use it for stuff like that just because I don't, that's not somebody I want to sell to again. If they're saying something's wrong with the first set and they're wanting a partial refund, why are they, or just communicate with them, hey, no, you're wanting a refund on the first set. Why, if you're not happy with them, did you order a second set?
right.
I don't mind selling them to you, but I can't, it costs a lot for me to have stuff returned and stuff like that. And I want nothing but satisfied customers.
Yeah, that was another thing that I had a big problem with, Sherry, was when I did pull my inventory. A lot of my stuff, the majority of my stuff was new. And by the time I got it, it was, even in a poly mailer, it was still pretty thrashed. And I put pretty much everything in a poly mailer or a poly bag. And it was, it was still messed up.
I think Amazon was the train that if you jumped on it early enough, you made really good money. There's still people that are doing really good.
Right.
But for me, it was time to decide if I really wanted to stick with it. Was it really worth the hassle? Was it worth the trouble? Was it worth, all of that? Was it really a viable business model going forward the way the landscape was changing? And I just, could we still be making money on Amazon? Yeah, but I just decided to get out early, to be proactive and get out earlier. And I think there's still people. I know of one person that's pretty heavy into Amazon, and they and I have talked, and they know the writing's on the wall, but they're going to just continue to, their decision was to continue to milk it while they can.
Right.
But they also do, well, it's kind of like Jack Smack. He does both. He does both platforms. So there's, I'm sure he knows that, if he wakes up, it goes without saying, if he wakes up tomorrow, he's got a game plan B, If he wakes up tomorrow and his Amazon account's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand, why people don't sell on both platforms. It just makes more sense to me to do something like that, to where you're, if you're already approved for a lot of things on Amazon. Amazon's tough to break into. Yeah, if you sell on both platforms, I think you could do really well. But it's hard to do Amazon anymore, to get into it, because of the way they've locked it all down. So.
Yeah, I never really thought I got the Amazon kind of stuff to sell. I've never did it.
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's a little harder now, but.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are doing like merchant fulfilled stuff, but I just don't. I mean, retail arbitrage, but I don't get that kind of stuff up here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was doing mainly media.
Yeah.
Which was fine, but only because I had so many books that I picked up at auction. I had literally like 30 huge boxes of books filling my garage, and I'm like, I got to get some money out of these things.
Hey, where's Jim? You have him out in the garage cranking stuff up?
No, he might be in the bathroom. I don't know. He'll be back.
Okay, good. Because
he's in the house, but he might be in the bathroom.
Good, because I need to talk to him. What? So yeah, it was my toner that was leaving lines through everything. It's been doing that for a week or so. Eventually, let's see, Jack Smack said if it weren't for being ungated in certain categories, I doubt we could get the same inventory for some manufacturers. They just sell it themselves. Eventually, gating will occur to everyone, I suspect. That was the other thing. I think the CD thing, I'm on day number about 18 or 19 of the 30-day CD warning that they're going to take down some of my listings, which I just ignored. I don't care, take them down. I'll just recall them back, but I'm going to let them sit there and try to sell, and I've sold some. And I don't have that many CDs in there, but for me, that was kind of the final straw. I mean, yeah, so the recording labels put pressure. I mean, it's pretty obvious what probably happened. They put pressure on Amazon, especially with Amazon having streaming music, they need to be able to get that from the recording labels. So there's probably some pressure put on there, and Amazon decided to lock. I mean, seriously, used CDs, that's what you're going to lock down? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, that's what you built your business on, with CDs and books.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to tell everybody that they can't sell used CDs unless they're a wholesaler or something with approval from. Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
And it's like, how many more? I mean, I've been through all of it. I've been through grocery, and I got ungated. I'm ungated in everything that I really want to sell in. I'm ungated in grocery. I don't even know what's gated or not, but hell, I'm even ungated in luggage, clothing, all this. But I think I've watched it change over the last couple of years. First they shut down DVDs. I did get ungated in DVDs. Thank goodness I jumped on that at the very beginning. But I've watched them change these categories and whatever. They don't communicate with their sellers. They just take a sledgehammer damn approach to everything. They don't announce ahead of time that, hey, we're thinking about doing this. And I get it. They don't have to announce it ahead of time. But it's the most random crap that Amazon just all of a sudden wakes up one day and like used CDs, used or new. All of a sudden you can't do CDs anymore, and I can't build a business around it. Hey, Jim, how much you want for those horse milkers?
I don't know. Tara's a milk specialist. What do you sell those for?
I think they're worth about $50 a snap.
They're worth about $50 a snap ship.
Can I milk a cat with those?
No, because they don't have the covers.
Sure.
Tara, did you see what Jason calls you? The golf cart hunter.
Oh God. Good. I'll start a rally. We'll have a rally up in Eagle River.
So I gotta ask. I watched your video, but I don't remember you mentioning it. What are you gonna do? Will you try to sell those Jeep windshields locally, or would you actually try to ship those?
I'm gonna weigh them. I think they'll go UPS. The one without glass in it for sure will. The ones with glass in it, I might have to go local because believe it or not, that windshield is pretty thick and heavy. It probably puts those over 100 pounds. And you know, windshield glass. I don't like doing windshield. I don't like a big sheet of glass like that anyway. So yeah, I'm thinking about I'll probably do the dashboards I can ship, no problem. But the windshields with the glass in, which are not perfect. I mean, they have like some rust and some.
I bought it for the one
that was really in good shape. Yeah, the one that's a new old stock. So I'll ship that one without the glass for sure, and that'll probably go to UPS.
Which one was new old stock? The one without the glass in it?
Right.
That's right. It was primer. That's right.
One primer, yeah. Because if you get those, and I said on the video, if you get the new aftermarket ones that come from Asia, I mean, it's like the new frying pans that you can just take and bend in half. I mean, the thickness of the thickness of the gauge of the steel is so thin that when you put in the windshield wipers, you hit your windshield wipers, and they actually the rod that actuates your wiper is actually bending the metal in front of the windshield frame. So that's this one's not that way. It's a really nice heavy gauge steel. Plenty of welds. That's the other thing with those overseas ones. You get the spot welds are very far apart. They'll be like 4 to 6 inches apart, where these are like 1 inch apart. I mean, you can see where they spot welded it all over the place. So it's just, you can get Jeep parts that are very poor construction. Like any other aftermarket stuff, you can get some real junky. You gotta be careful. Look at the reviews. Make sure you're buying something decent.
Right. Got it.
That was it. I'm gonna go back to milking my cats.
Ew.
Here's Specky.
Yeah, I hope you don't try milking the dog.
I'm gonna milk Specky.
He's a boy. Meow. Oh, hey.
Everybody knows the Meow Mix commercial. Everybody.